Alright, it's 11:59, so we should be getting... I'm gonna wait one more minute and then we can start. And I'm hoping more people can actually watch this a little bit later and give us feedback on our Discord and forum and all the other social media that we have. Let's see what we got. Got some notifications here. And sorry for the sound. And thank you for the link, Anton. I'll check it out later on. For now, I have most of my stuff closed other than my phone, so that it doesn't ping as you heard it, but the phone is there anyhow. Alright, let's give this a go. Phalcon Community Hangout. Welcome to everybody that is here, and also welcome to the ones that will watch this hangout later. This is our August hangout as usual. Last Saturday of every month we have one. We skipped last month because there weren't that many people around. Most people that I would talk to would be on holidays, and that's why we didn't have that much of traction, if you like, on the project. I know Sergey was on holidays. I was off for a couple of days due to medical reasons, and in case everybody's wondering, these are my medical reasons. I have to wear these wristbands because my wrists are hurting quite a lot, as well as my forearms. Went to the doctor said that there's no arthritis there, so that's a good thing. Whether it's a carpal tunnel yet or not, we don't know. So I have to wear these things the whole day unless I'm sleeping, and it's annoying. It's annoying as hell because it's difficult to type and it's difficult to manipulate the mouse with it. But hey, you know, it is what it is. We're not young anymore, so I have to take care of our body. So yeah, welcome to Phalcon, the community hangout. We got a few news for you. I'm gonna try and make it relatively quickly so that people can go on with the rest of their stuff. So let's get on with it. Alright, so what's our agenda for today? Of course, the introduction, the welcome to all attendees as usual. This slide is relatively the same for every hangout. Again, we cannot stress this enough. The thank you to all the attendees, as well as the whole community and the contributors. You know, the project is nothing without any contributions, or at least the community driving this project forward. And by contributors, I don't necessarily mean the people that actually write code, fix a couple of things, or suggest things. Any discussion that moves the project forward is always welcome, and we might not always agree on where the project is moving. It's always great to hear new ideas because we don't know everything, and we definitely value everybody's opinions. We're going to talk about a status update, what happened since our last hangout, which was 2 months ago, as I said. We have a new domain, in case you missed it, at the beginning of the slide and on the little lower third. And I don't know why it flickers, but I guess it's one of these glitches that I need to fix. Let me just move this down. Maybe that would make a difference, perhaps. Anyway, okay, so we have let me just close this. Maybe that would help. Okay. Alright, so far it doesn't seem to help that much. Anyway. Okay. So yeah, we have a new domain. We have 4.0 beta 2. We have a Devtools update. Sample applications, for instance, vokuro and others. The documentation update, as well as Q&A. So let's get on with it. And again, I'm sorry for the flicker at the bottom. I don't know what causes it for now. I'll figure it out in the next Hangout. I did mention this to the ones that came in early. I have to use a different piece of software called OBS. In the past, we would use the Google Hangouts. So you would just start a Google Hangout with YouTube, so to speak, and then with that you would just project anything you want. You would have your camera or your share the screen, and it was so easy to do. It was just 2 clicks and then you were done. But of course, in all its wisdom, YouTube decided to get rid of it. And now they have this streaming technology that you can either go into other sites that would grab your stream and stream it to YouTube and so on and so forth. And I didn't really like those sites, so I watched a couple of videos and they said that you can use OBS, which is a free software that runs on pretty much all platforms. So I started using that, and that's why you see the camera on the right side, bottom right side, and you see the lower third that we have there with our Phalcon stuff. These are really nice, nifty things to have, but I haven't gotten the hang of it yet, and this was my first real stream. I did a test one kind of a couple of hours ago, but yeah, so any technical difficulties, sorry about that, including that flicker. So yeah, now huge thank you to our community always. Thank you for your help, guys and gals. The links to our social network, you know, where we have a forum, Discord, Telegram, Gab, Parler, Stack Overflow, Facebook, and Twitter. You can find updates on any of those social media networks. Usually you will get replies from us on the forum, and especially on Discord for a quick chat. Everything else is pretty much read-only, so to speak. So for instance, Telegram, you can only react with a thumbs up or thumbs down. Gab, you can reply to posts that we do, but it's not necessarily that we will reply back or something like that. Same thing with Parler, Facebook, and Twitter. Stack Overflow is a different beast altogether. There's a lot more people, not only the ones that are on this project, so they might be able to help you there as well. You will get replies to your questions. So we have the update. A few names here: Fenikusu, Diplopito, SCRN Jankovic, I think it's Steven, Billy, that's Balas, Lan Lin, and Zhang Rui Ming ZRM, as well as Studio Max and Jackerson. These are the top names that I can that I could pull out from the pull requests. We would really like to thank you guys personally for all the hard work that you did, even if it was just a comma change or a doc block change. That it definitely helps the project. As of today, we have 8 open PRs. A few of them are under review. A couple of changes that have been requested. We have 95 open issues, which is hovering around the same amount that we had the last few months. Usually you would get a surge of issues coming in, and then all of a sudden you would have either replies, or this is not an issue, or this is a bug, or this has been fixed, and then the number would come down as well. For those that are interested why we have around 95 of them, the vast majority of the issues are new feature requests. So if we were to, let's say, stop the time and concentrate only on Phalcon and work only on Phalcon, those 95 issues would be done, because we would have fixed all those new feature requests. But you know, that's not feasible. We have to time things, and we have to schedule specific functionality that would go into specific versions. So as far as the project is concerned, we have 7 to-do cards, 4 in progress and 566 done. The 4 in progress relates to the pull requests. Of course, out of the 7 to-do cards, most of them relate to the documentation. And of course we had the beta, and also we had documentation updates. Where's my mouse? There you go. As far as Zephir is concerned, Dream and Sergey have been working hard on making Zephir much faster. The work on the local memory management, aka coroutines or async functionality, is still ongoing. There's some really good stuff that is coming down the line. Dream has been working hard on that. One of the things that we have seen is that there is not a mishap, there is a wrong I cannot say that it is a wrong implementation. There is a suboptimal implementation of loops in Phalcon using Zephir. So Dream discovered this. It's going to be pushed to the latest version of Zephir coming in, and the next version of Phalcon will actually enjoy this. The long story short, the way it was explained to me, because of course I'm not a C guy, I've said that numerous times before, there was an additional variable that was created when you were creating a loop, and as a result you were using more memory than you need. So Dream spotted that, and that would be fixed as well. So in general, the Phalcon team is always trying, as well as the Zephir team, is always trying to squeeze as much performance as possible. Anything not used should not be used, or should not be there, right? Now, as far as translations and documents, this is a regular slide that I always keep here, just to keep everybody informed. Again, huge thanks to all of the translators, and I have to apologize for in advance, because I'll come back to this when I'm talking about the new domain. Huge thank you to the ones that to the members of the community that go to Crowdin and actually help with translating either the documentation, the main site, or other. What happens is Crowdin receives those translations using their own UI, and then once the translations get approved, they get pushed by means of a pull request to the main repository, and then we just pull everything and everything gets rebuilt. And we also have Algolia, which crawls the site and offers the search functionality, kind of like a type as you go. We're very excited because we made some changes to our documentation, and we managed to reduce the number of files that we have for the documentation. We were around 7,500 files, from API documents to anything, and you have to multiply that with different versions in different languages. So when we first talked to Algolia, they said, you know what, you have way too many files. We just cannot possibly use all the crawlers just for your project, because they serve a lot of other open source projects as well. So what we did is we managed to reduce the number of files by combining some of them, especially in the API, and that dropped it to around 3,000. So now our version 3 and version 4 documents are using Algolia, and they are version related. So when you're searching something in version 4, you will get results for version 4, not for version 3. So that's great and exciting news, and we're really happy about that. So let's see, there we go. So new domain, our new domain is phalcon.io. It's no longer phalconphp.com, and it's nothing else. We've created relevant redirects, so whenever you click on on an icon or a link or anything that links to us, you're going to be automatically redirected to Phalcon.io with the relevant URI URI string. So if you have, for argument's sake, bookmarked certain links to certain documents, and those links are phalconphp.com, once you click on them, you will get to exactly the same page using the Phalcon.io link. Hey Rude, that's fine. Thanks for stopping by to say a quick hi. This is from the chat. Rude made a little bit of a mistake. He thought that the Hangout was an hour earlier, and he has other arrangements. Sadly, we're not gonna see him today, but he's always hanging out in Discord, ready to help. So yeah, what have we done on this? So we moved all the sites to the Phalcon.io domain. That includes the asset site, build with, which one else is it? License, the blog, the main website, pretty much everything. I'm not 100% with the store. We have to figure it out first, but it should be just a matter of the domain change. I don't remember whether I did. I'll just have to check after this Hangout. What we also did is we actually moved the main website from a Phalcon based implementation to a Jekyll based implementation, and there is a reason behind this. If you guys recall, a few months back we changed the documents website to Jekyll. We changed also the blog to Jekyll. Jekyll is a static site generator, so pretty much you put some code in there with for loops and all that stuff, and what it does when it runs, it creates HTML pages that are completely static. There's no looping in there and all that. So it takes your code, whatever you produced, and it runs it, and it generates the HTML pages, and those pages are being served when your visitors visit the site. So if you make a mistake and you change something, the site has to be rebuilt from scratch. We also have Netlify, who have been extremely gracious in offering us free hosting and also secure certificates and everything. And they also link to our GitHub repository, so whenever they detect a push, they automatically build the site and deploy it. So that makes our lives a lot easier. And the reason we moved away from Phalcon-based implementations for both the blog, the documents, as well as now the website, is because we don't have time. We don't have time to maintain 3 different applications for 3 different sites. Having the documents in or blog or main website in Jekyll allows us to pretty much make a tiny change if we need to. Just let it run, it will deploy on its own, and we're done. This is extremely helpful when we merge translations. So when, for argument's sake, when Crowden pushes new translations to our main website, one of our contributors, let's say Ihor or Rude or Cameron or whoever, can actually merge that, and we know that within a couple of minutes that merge would have already triggered the build to Netlify, and then everything would be built. In the old way of doing things, if we had to push something to the main website, I had to physically go on the server and just run the deploy command, which would do a git pull and then clean the cache. So that is one less thing that I have to do, or others, right? So that's why we moved it to Jekyll as well. Now, a small a brief thing of what's coming up to in the next month is that when we do release V4, we're going to have a brand new website. Our friends at Odva Pro, the O2 guys, so you can see their link and their work already in place for blog, build with, license, and so on and so forth. they're working on, they finished the prototypes and they're working on the HTML. They finished the mockups and now they're working on the prototypes, the HTML version of our brand new website, which will follow exactly the same theme, and it would be the one that we would use from now on. We're not there yet with that. There's work still to be done, but when we do release V4, everything would be in place. Also, some other tasks for the site move. We updated the DNS to do auto redirects. Redirects actually happen now in Cloudflare, so it doesn't reach us. It happens way before. As a result, it tries to make it a lot faster. We updated the Google Analytics, Webmaster Tools, and Sitemaps. Thank you, Ruud, for doing all that. We updated the documents in Algolia. We do have a slight problem with Commento. Commento is the plugin that we use for adding comments to the blog and to the documentation. We already contacted the vendor. He's working on to switch the domain over and maintain our comments, the ones that have already been done. So final and big question is why? Well, why did you change the site? I mean, everybody knows phalconphp.com. Well, the problem comes from lack of communication and I'm not trying to throw anybody on the bus. It is what it is, right? That is life. Many of you have known that the brain behind Phalcon was Andres Gutierrez. He's the one that started it. He had the nerve or the gall or the braveness, if you like, to start something like this. And everybody just started discovering the project later on. For personal reasons that I'm not going to clearly say here, Andres decided to step down from the project a few years back. And then Sergey and I actually took a more active role in managing the project and moving ahead. Again, for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's a glitch on the internet, maybe it's whatever, I haven't been able to get a hold of Andres to do certain things, even a simple hi. The domain is registered, the phalconphp.com domain is registered in Andres's personal account. So all we wanted to do is just move the domain to kind of like a project account, so to speak. We haven't been able to contact him at all. The domain will renew in October, and we don't know if it will renew, and we don't want somebody to come and pick it up. So what we did is we're going to change it to Phalcon.io, and that would be a project-based account. The core team will have access to all of that, and as a result, it's not going to be only one person that logs the whole system. Okay. So that's why we changed it, and we changed it now just in case the domain doesn't get renewed. So better early than late and crying, so to speak. And this is our new guy here. I would like to welcome Ruud. He's now a member of the core team. Happy to join us, and you can see his enthusiasm and contributions immediately in the project. He's working with coordination, bugs, documentation, infrastructure. He's also making coffee, etc., etc. Plus, he plays music. He's our resident DJ. And once we release V4, we're going to do a live stream, and we're going to have a party with decks and music and all that stuff. So that's going to be his responsibility. But joking aside, we thank Ruud for joining the team. Definitely, his contributions are appreciated, and he's helping a lot with organization, especially with me not being able to type that fast as I could. He has helped me a lot in making sure that everything moves smoothly. Okay. Alright, so we managed to release what was that there you go. Okay, we managed to release beta 2. And beta 2 did not have a lot of things, and this is something to be expected. You're not going to see a lot of things in beta 2. If you do, then you have problems. Right? Then you shouldn't have released a beta, you should have released an alpha. So the fixes were a couple of imports were wrongly assigned the use statements for the DB classes, the Phalcon DB. There was a logic error in is serializable in the serializers. So if somebody reads the method and it says is serializable and that one returns true, one would expect that this particular content or string is serializable. Well, the actual implementation was the reverse. So if serializable was returning true, the data was not serializable. So we fixed that. It doesn't affect performance, but it does help others reading the code and using the method. So nice catch on that, guys. The storage adapter Redis had a couple of deprecated methods, and these have been changed because we're using now the latest driver. The model results set update was not returning the correct status, and that has been fixed as well. The abstract application was referencing the wrong interfaces. Again, this is from our refactoring. We just missed that, sadly. And thanks for catching that, guys. And the paginator query builder will now throw exception when you're passing wrong parameters. For instance, if you're passing limit equals -1. Also, we did do a little bit of cleanup. I think Sid Roberts was the one that picked that up, or I might be mistaken. Either way, thank you, Sid, for all you do. We removed libsodium related code which was not needed, and so the less you have from what you need, the better it is for the framework itself. Alright, so Devtools. Oh, come on, man, really? I have this little touchpad because I cannot use the mouse, and it's extremely sensitive, so the minute I touch it, it just flicks around with different slides. So Devtools. Devtools is work in progress to get it to where we want it to go, to V4. Jeckerson or Anton is working hard on that. We already released the version 3.4.2 and 3.4.3. All these were just small fixes. The work also on the Docker images is ongoing. The make each repository for each separate part, some of that has been done, not all of it. It's still ongoing. Separate PHP version, again ongoing, and make all inside single repository, single GitLab CMI, blah blah blah. This came from the previous slide. It is an ongoing work, and it's a lot of work, so we might end up with a couple more times showing the same slide or same status update, but we're not forgetting the people that do like Docker and want to use Docker. That might be the best chance for somebody using Phalcon without having to go through the installation. Who knows? But the more options people have, the better it would be. So one of the biggest updates that we have in terms of volume is the sample applications. So as you would know, we can release V4 tomorrow, but if the sample applications are not there, then that actually hinders a lot of people that would like to try Phalcon and see what the deal is. And the sample applications or the test or the tutorials are the best way for somebody to actually start using it. So Anton Jeckerson is leading the effort on this. He has started already with vokuro, and he's getting ready to finish. And after that, I do believe he's gonna start working on the Phalcon API, so that we have a REST sample as well with V4. So what has already happened is that the V4 beta has been reviewed, refactored, and updated all the views to the latest Twitter's Bootstrap. PSR2 has been carefully applied. For the database, we don't have a single SQL file that you just dump in there. We're using Finks, so all you have to do is just run Finks. The database structure will be constructed for you, and then you can run a seed to populate the database in order to run the sample. We're also using Psalm or Salm for the static code analyzer. We added code deception for acceptance tests for all the controllers, and also we added the .env package with configs pointing to the .env file. That's a very common way of storing configuration. That's already done. The ongoing work, which should be done relatively soon, I believe, is we need to make sure that everything is PSR4 compliant. We need to refactor the code to make it with PHP 7.x syntax. Make sure that we have strong types and all that stuff. Update all the deprecated code. Introduce the PHP PDS structure with composer based installation. For those that don't know, PDS is a project dependency standard. It started from Paul M. Jones, who was the brain behind PSR0 and PSR2, I believe. So the auto loading and all that stuff, and the coding standards. I might mix things up, but pretty much Paul M. Jones has always been a guy that wants to standardize things in order to converge a lot more people together and have the easy exchange of information and components, for that matter. So by using the simple standard, the PHP PDS, that you can find the data that you want when you're looking at packages. So to give you a small example, the standard says that all your code should be in /src, right? Pretty straightforward. A lot of projects already do that. Then it says that all your documentation should be in the docs folder, and then any executables you might have should be in the bin folder. So it kind of like brings the structure of the project correctly at the top. I have seen composer based packages that just have /lib, right? So if you have a standard way of looking at things, you know where things are, and it makes it much easier for people to follow and or contribute to a project that they like. So we're going to do that. Also, it's going to be a composer installable project. So if somebody wants to use the vokuro as a starting point, they could just run the create project command or something like that, and then everything will be installed for you. Final point is to set up Travis so that we can have reports on our code coverage and the tests that we have. And that is the ongoing stuff that Anton is working on. So, I promise I don't have much to go with. This is the last slide, and this is the biggest task that we have at the moment before we release V4, is to get the documentation done. And when we're saying get the documentation done, the golden standard, if you like, is Laravel, right? Laravel might be, and I'm just exaggerating here, Laravel could very well be described as the best or the worst framework, depending on who you ask. But there's only one thing that everybody agrees: their documentation is extremely thorough and really, really good. So using that as a goal, as well as Phalcon, we want to make sure that we have as thorough documentation as possible in order to help people get in. And I'll give you a small example. Some of the classes and some of the documents that I have been working on lately, we haven't touched them for kind of like 4 years, right? I recently did the request and the response. The request, I believe, the response was 100 lines of text. When I finished, it was close to 800. I managed to add a lot of examples, giving the community ways of doing common tests. So for instance, if I have a response, how do I send a 404, or how do I send a 304, how do I set the headers, how do I set this, how do I set that, how do I create the, a file to be sent when somebody clicks download link, stuff like that. There were a lot of areas that were missing from the doc. So the methodology that we follow right now is we need to make sure that every single aspect of each component has to be explained, and it has to be there. So we've done a lot of updates to the upgrade document. Diplopito has been really good at this. He also created a cheat sheet that we have at the bottom of the upgrade document, where it actually tells you what a class name was in v3 and what it is now in v4, or it was removed, or this is a brand new class in v4. So it's a kind of like a table format, and people can actually follow. It can serve as a guide to the upgrade. And as we go along, as we move the process of working with the documents, we keep on updating the upgrade documentation. Okay. So the request and response have been done. They have been kind of like proofed, at least from the initial group of people that look at them. And right now I'm working on the HTTP message, which is the PSR interfaces with what is it? Stream, URI, server request, response, and request. So all those, I'm packaging them down with examples on how you can use them. And once that is done, it's going to be released for review. So the work in progress that we have, and sorry for the two parentheses there, it's probably a typo somewhere. What I want to do is, the minute Anton finishes Vokuro, we can actually start working on producing the tutorial for Vokuro, because Vokuro will become the application that people can use, kind of like the base application. We're not gonna have 20 different applications. Oh, you can use the tutorial to make a poll, but you can use this tutorial to do basic stuff, or well, you can use that tutorial to do an API. We're going to shrink all that, make the process much easier, and people can follow it. So that would be my focus, to get the tutorials. Also, the web server setup. I have to get a few screenshots here and there just to make the documents the way they should be. Then I'm going to focus on application. Then I'm going to focus on the smaller components, kind of like one-on-one. Because application has application micro, application full, and application CLI. So there's 3 types of documents that can fall under that category. And then kind of like the one-off pages, so Devtools, debug, DI, escape, events, and so on and so forth. Then I'm going to have to look at the whole MVC structure, talk about components, views, routing, dispatching, and all that stuff. And then the last 2 would be the big guys. One would be the models, which will be a very extensive document, and I already know areas that they're missing. So I'll give you an example: relationships with parameters, or relationships with custom ordering, stuff like that. Really? Come on. The time that I have Hangout, my father-in-law calls me. Excellent. Alright, so after the models will be the DB, which also has a lot of stuff to discuss, and that would pretty much take quite a lot of time. And then once that is done, it will be a little bit of a tidy up, and we'll be done with the documentation. We're looking at around 40 files in total. As I did mention, for instance, application has 3 of those. But if you're looking at the list of files in the repository, MVC has quite a lot of them, and the DB has quite a lot of them. So a lot of typing, and as I did mention, the arms do not help for now. But we're gonna power through it. We're gonna get everything done. And this brings us to the Q&A. And I would like to thank everybody for this. Oh, by the way, one thing to note for the documentation. If you guys go to the docs repository, there is a pinned issue that actually shows you which documents have been done and which documents are to be done. You're more than welcome to read and review the existing English documentation. We always change the English documentation in the repository. Everything else, translation-wise, happens using Crowdin. So if something is missing, or there's a typo, or something you just don't like and you want to expand on it, by all means, pull request. We'll just add all that. And if anybody has any inclination to at least pick up one or two documents just to review them and to offer more and more insight as to each component, I'm not gonna complain, I can tell you that. So yeah, that's our Hangouts. Open to Q&A. We're gonna leave it open for a little while for everybody to ask whatever you guys want. Smoky is not allowed in the house, so I have this little vaping machine. Right, so let me switch screen. And this is how the documents show. For me, anyway. This is what I usually do. I just go and check every single method for every single item in here, and I just keep on typing and typing and typing. That's how it usually goes. And again, sorry for the little glitter or whatever happens on the screen up there. I have no idea why it does that. I'll figure it out, I guess. There's a little font I've been looking for. I've been looking about. Looked really nice. To maybe for our dogs, I don't know. So no questions in the chat so far. I'm pretty sure it's working. Alright, if we don't have any questions, I'm gonna wait for a couple more minutes and then I'm gonna cut it short at around 45 minutes of stream, and I'll hope to see you everybody in Discord or our forum. Okay, I guess we're done. To everybody that's watching it, thank you so much. We did notice lately that we already have around 700 or 700 and some what is it, subscribers. $720, which is really awesome. Thank you all for for subscribing to our channel. As my daughter would say, well, the eldest, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notifications button to get notified. So thank you all for being here. We're gonna cut the stream short here and get everybody to go and do their tasks over the weekend. For the US, it's a long weekend. We have Monday off because it's Labor Day. I know that might sound a little bit weird for our friends in Europe, because Labor Day in Europe is usually May, but that's how things are here. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you soon in our Discord or other social media. Alright, take care.